Hi everyone, I'm the director for our New Zealand registered not-for-profit Common Knowledge Trust, and we are absolutely have always been honored that we hold all of the birth and birth coaching skills that hundreds of fathers and mothers developed in the early 1970s in the United States when most of us, the vast majority of us, were giving birth in the hospital. It's true, in 1970 when I gave birth, the very first childbirth preparation classes were being taught, Lamaze and Bradley method. So millions, multiple millions for 30 years, multiple millions of women and men were going into their hospital birth with all the assessments, monitoring, and procedures, and we were going in with some level of skills. Lamaze and the Bradley method aren't the greatest skills in the world, but they work for many people. Some are better than none. I mean, honestly, any skill is better than no skill because it gives you the ability to focus and to cope, to manage better, to work through, to deal with, to stay on top of, and to feel more in control. So, birthing better skills developed in the early 70s because mothers and fathers wanted more effective skills. And there was only a 4.5% cesarean rate at that point because it was major abdominal surgery done to save our lives. But by the 80s, the cesareans had changed. They became safer, easier. They didn't leave a scar on our belly for all of us wearing bikinis, and we could be awake and we could try to have a vaginal birth after a cesarean. And we could reduce the risks to our baby by choosing to have a cesarean. So most of us in the United States birth in the hospital, and most people around the world birth in a hospital. They don't care if you come in with skills, honestly, to be frank with you. So we've put out a skills-based course for you who are birthing in the hospital. You'll learn how to prepare your body for birth because as men understood, there's a big object having to come out of a container. You can't change the shape of the object, so learn to open the container. Because if you open the container and make space for your baby comes down through and out your body more effectively. And when you learn birth and birth coaching skills, then you're going to work through the activity of birthing your baby, no matter how it unfolds or what's happening to or around you. So this course is going to give you all of the skills that you need to birth in the hospital, plus some added ones. Am I talking to you more? Right? So we encourage all of you to adopt the concept that birthing better families developed in the early 1970s, that it is normal and natural when pregnant to self-learn birth and birth coaching skills and then use those skills as you work through the activity of birthing your baby. Each woman is doing a birth with her baby by herself, even if there are 100 people in the room and she has wires coming out of every single one of her holes and people are fiddling with her all the time. We still have to do that activity. We don't have to like any of it. We can be terrified at every single moment. However, when we use skills, we will manage and cope better because as humans, we thrive on being skilled, and when we don't have skills, we get more frightened. It's okay to have all sorts of negative feelings or positive feelings about your hospital birth. Very few families go in with skills now, unlike in the 60s and the 70s in the United States when multiple millions of families use some level of skill. Now it's all about your choices and birth plans. So when you go in and you use your skills and your partner uses your skills with you, the staff and your doctor will praise you. They wished everybody did. And that's why we want you to spread out the message. It's normal and natural when pregnant to self-learn birth and birth coaching skills, and then use your skills as you work through the activity of birthing your baby. Nothing will stop you from doing that. We know, because thousands and thousands of birthing better families in the past 50 years have used these skills in their hospital births. And we just rock it. We don't have to like it. We just rock it because we do for ourselves and we skillfully work through every moment of our baby's birth because we recognize how important that is to our well-being as we move from becoming to being parents. So please get the course, pass it on, and start around 24 weeks. In 32 weeks, start preparing your birth canal. If you're having a non-laboring cesarean, just enjoy preparing your body and learning skills because you don't get pregnant very frequently. Then use your skills when you get in the car to drive to the hospital. That's your labor while being prepped. That's your transition and during surgery, your baby's birth. You're still working through your baby's birth. So whether you labor and have a vaginal birth, labor and have an unplanned cesarean, or have a planned non-laboring cesarean, you are giving birth to your baby. And you deserve the skills to work through this one-off, infrequent, dramatic, dynamic, and life-transforming event that you're doing with your baby.